Hi, this is Cindy from Part-Time Permies, and today I'll give a little review on a tool that I've been using recently. So this is called a Japanese sickle. Japanese sickles are used as a hand tool for weeding a lot of times, chopping and dropping things, and this version works pretty well. It has a nice little cover over the blade. It does have a fairly sharp blade, so you do want to be careful with it. You can see that one edge is sharp, the edge on the curve, outer curve, is dull. So basically this is used by putting it around your weeds and pulling it towards you. So I'll show you how that's done. I've actually already used this a little bit. So in this area we have a lot of ragweed growing, and not too many flower beds or vegetable beds, but we did plant a few of these. These are pumpkins. These are actually the seed. It's an oiled pumpkin, so the seed has no husk to it. So it's not so much an eating pumpkin as an oil pumpkin, but it is a heirloom variety, so it's kind of special variety. So we planted those, kind of ran out of garden space, but we planted them at random areas around here, which is kind of a little more of a workspace, undeveloped space. So we have some down here. And as you can see, I've mulched around that. So basically I've used this tool to chop down all these weeds here. And I was going to leave myself a patch of yarrow, so I do have that growing here. But the ragweed we can use as mulch. From this section over here, have already pulled some that were basically about 4 feet tall. So almost as tall as that sunflower that's growing. And I used it for mulch over here, which I have another one of these pumpkins down there. And we have a volunteer tomatillo, which I didn't plant any tomatillos from seed. Now that wasn't doing very well because it's so crowded out by ragweed and bugs started eating it. And actually a lot of this down here, some of it's ragweed, a lot of it is wild spinach, or otherwise known as lamb's quarter. Now it was huge. Like I said, it was as tall as this plant. Now, I'll stand by it so you can see. This plant, oh gosh, it's got to be over 5 feet tall. So the ragweed and wild spinach was actually probably up to my shoulder, so maybe 4.5 feet tall, or actually almost 5 feet there. So, because I'm approaching 6 feet tall, so not quite. But this plant obviously is very tall. It's approaching my height. So this was really overgrown, and we really just hadn't had time to do much with it, so we decided to use that tool to chop and drop a lot of it. I'll show you how it works. There's more around here. There's also another late starting pumpkin right there. So what I'm going to do is around this area, I'm going to chop and drop it. You grab your weeds, put your sickle at the base of the weeds, and then just pull towards yourself, and it basically chops it at a pretty low level, and you can keep doing that. And we have some plantain in here too, but this will all grow back if it's not heavily mulched in this area, but I don't want it to grow too close to my pumpkin. I want to give my pumpkin some room to grow. So we'll just chop and drop this little section here and mulch around the pumpkin. It doesn't take much to do that. You do have to maintain the edge on this blade, but it works pretty darn well. It's really easy to do, easy way to weed, and frankly, I don't even think of my weeds as weeds. I think of them as mulch, so I don't mind them growing. especially in certain sections, but obviously don't want them to outcompete my plants that I want vegetables from. So you chop and drop, put it around the vegetables, and you now have mulch instead of weeds. So turn a problem into a solution. Very permaculture concept there. So far I've really liked this tool. It's actually been able to chop down some pretty thick pieces, a little bit tougher on, you know, the, let's say the lamb's quarter that's about a 1/2 inch diameter, the really big ones. But it still cut it down. So it was a little more work on those, but generally speaking, it works really well. So I will put a link down below if you want to check these out. There's a whole lot of varieties of them. I'll put a link for this particular one, but you can check into others too and turn your weeds into mulch. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the show. If you have questions on this tool, please just let me know in the comments below, and I will see you with our next video. Take care, guys.